5 a.m. and we're gonna do a tag. So Jess over at Reading with Jess tagged me to do the Plan With Me book tag. I'm so excited. This will be my first tag on my channel. Tags are just a lot of fun, so why not? Let's just jump right in. So the first prompt for this tag is Payday. Name a book you want right now, regardless of the price. And for this one, I would have to pick No Exit by Taylor Adams. I have seen so many booktubers rave about this book. I have yet to see a bad review, and I just feel like I need this. Like, I'm in a mystery thriller mood right now. Love to get my hands on this one. So this is a mystery thriller where we are following Darby, and she's on her way to Utah. She's driving and there's this huge blizzard. So she can't drive anymore, so she has to stop at a rest stop. And there are several other people who are also stopped at this rest stop. She ends up parking next to this van that has a child in the back in an animal crate. So Darby doesn't know who's the owner of this van. She's trying to figure out who amongst them is a kidnapper. And I've just heard that this one's really suspenseful and that there's a twist you don't see coming when it comes to this book. I would just really love to read this one. I think that at this point, if I could get my hands on it, if I could order it, I wouldn't even care how much it was. Like, I would just order it. But I'm trying not to order books right now. Might have to settle for the ebook. We'll see. The next prompt is Pay a Bill. Name a book that you would like to get rid of. And y'all are gonna hate me for this, but Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I am not a fan of the Wayward Children series. I just don't like it. I just don't. I have only read the first 2 books, but I just can't get into it. I can't get into the characters. I don't know if it's because of the shortness of it. I don't find them all that great, and the writing just isn't for me. I feel like it's just a style that I'm not into. The next prompt is Doctor's Appointment. Name a book that makes you feel better. And of course, I've already talked about this before, and that's Giant Days. This is a graphic novel series. We're following these 3 girls who are best friends and roommates in college. I just love it. I just think it's so light, and it just warms my heart every time that I pick up this series. All of the girls have their own fun little quirky personalities, and we're introduced to some other fun characters along the way. There's not a whole lot that happens plot-wise, just a little bit of like relationship troubles and like stuff with school and work, but I still love it. I think it's great, and it's the perfect thing to jump into when I'm feeling down. It also has such a pretty, like, colorful art style. Like, how could you even be sad and read this? Like, it just puts me in the best of moods. The next prompt is Meeting. Name a book you felt obligated to read just because of the hype. And for that one, it is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I did not like it. I DNF'd this book. I was bored. It bored the hell out of me, and I don't know why people love it so much. I think that it has an interesting premise, but as far as like actually reading it, I thought it was boring as hell. I got 165 pages in this book and then I just stopped because I didn't care. I ended up skimming to the very end to see exactly what was going to happen, and I was underwhelmed. I didn't feel like it would have been worth all that. So I'm glad that I DNF'd it. This pretty much follows this group of students in college, and they kind of form this like secret society, and then one of them is murdered. It sounds really great. All of the characters in here were just shit people, and I couldn't get into it. I couldn't do it. It was just fucking boring as hell. I don't know what else to say. I didn't have a good time with it. The next prompt is Lunch Date. Read a book that you loved because a friend recommended it. And for this one, I would have to say A Man Called Uva by Frederick Backman. This is a contemporary novel just basically following this grumpy old man who gets these new neighbors, and he ends up warming up to them and their children. And it's just a really wholesome story, and Uva's one of those characters that you just want to hug and hold and tell him that it'll be okay. And I just love this book so, so much, and it makes me want to read more Bachman in the future. I feel like I'm just gonna love everything he's ever written. And this one was just, it was just so cute. I bawled my eyes out at the end. It's just such a great book, and I recommend it to just pretty much anyone. So many people recommended this book to me, so I just felt I needed to mention it. The next prompt is work/school, name a book that was hard to finish. So I'm just gonna go with a book that I read recently, and that was When We Were Worthy. I read this a couple of months ago. So I thought this book was a mystery thriller. That's why I initially purchased it and started reading it. But it's more of a literary fiction type. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I'm not saying that I don't love those books, but I was expecting a mystery thriller. Then I jumped into this and it wasn't that. So the story is set in this town that is just super into their high school football team. One night, tragedy strikes, and 3 of the cheerleaders from the high school are killed in a car accident. And this basically just follows all the different people in the town and how they cope with this tragedy. I just found this one tough to finish because I had gotten into it and then realized it wasn't what I was expecting or what I was in the mood for. So I just had a really tough time eventually finishing it. The next prompt is The Gym. Name a book that got your heart racing. And for this one, I would have to go with a horror novel, and that is The Devil Crept In by Anya Alborn. She is just such a fantastic horror writer, and this is probably one of the best horror books that I have read. We're following 10-year-old Stevie, and his cousin and best friend has been abducted. He just disappears out of nowhere, and we're kind of watching Stevie cope with this situation. He's just written so very well, and there is like a second part to this where you're following this completely different timeline and different characters, and you don't really know how this is all going to connect. And it does so wonderfully, and it's just so creepy and eerie, and the atmosphere is just, it's everything. So if you're into horror and you haven't read any Alborn yet, highly recommend. It's just so good, and it really ups the creep factor. I loved it. I just loved it. Check out Anya Alborn. She's got some great stuff. The next prompt is date night. Name your favorite book couple. And do I really need to say it? 11/22/63, and that's Jake and Sadie. Oh, I love them so much. If you guys have not read this, I'm telling you, just jump on it. It is so good. And I think it's King's best written book. So many people will tell you this. He writes these characters that you will just fall in love with, and it'll just break your heart. It'll break your heart so much. I cried for days after reading this book, and Jake and Sadie are they're just the best. I just love them so much. I'm telling you, you have to try it out. It's so good, and these 2 characters are they're everything to me. They just mean so much to me, and their relationship is just so sweet and genuine. They feel like real people. Just Jake and Sadie forever. The next prompt is vacation. Name a book or series you would binge if you had all the time in the world. So for this, I have like 3 different series that I really want to read. I'm hoping that I could get around to each of them very soon, but they are the Mistborn trilogy. I would really like to read this. I would really like to read some Brandon Sanderson, so I would definitely love to binge that series. Another series that I would love to binge is the Nevernight Chronicles. I think it's called the Nevernight Chronicles, but it's by Jay Kristoff, and I just really, really want to binge that series. I've just heard amazing things. I know that it's about a female assassin, and that's all I really want to know because sounds fucking great. The next one I would also really love, which is kind of out of my comfort zone. It's more within the sci-fi genre, but I would really love to binge the Red Rising series. I've also just heard really, really great things. And yeah, I have like Nevernight and Red Rising both on ebook, and I just haven't picked them up, and I really, really want to. The thing is, I don't have all the time in the world. And if I had all the time in the world, I would definitely be picking up those. All of these would also work for the last prompt as well, which is to name a book that you've been meaning to get to, but haven't had the time for. Not only all those series that I just mentioned, but I would also really like to make time for A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I've heard really great things about this book. I know that it's like a literary fiction where we are following this man and his friends or something. I don't know. I think it's like a coming of age story, but I know that it's pretty heartbreaking. People seem to really love it. It's quite long. I feel like I just need some time to really let this one soak in. So that's why I've been putting it off for so long. I have also wanted to read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, another one that I want to spend some time on. So I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm hoping to get to this one actually very, very soon. I have some more time off work in the next couple of weeks, so I would really like to try to prioritize this, make some time for it, because I really do think that I'm going to love it. So yeah, definitely would like to get to either one of those. That was so much fun. I just really love tags. Tags are just really, really fun. Before I go, I also wanted to let you guys know about a few things that are happening. If you don't know already, I've been participating in these live shows over on Jacqueline's channel called Read with Friends. And basically, it's just a bunch of us booktubers getting together and discussing, and then we read for an hour and discuss some more. It's a lot of fun. I've met some really awesome people on there. They're just so great. I'm having such a good time with it, and I just wanted to let you guys know that we're going to be doing these weekly. They're going to be happening every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are going to be doing this until further notice. Since most of us are home, I'm not home, but I'm going to try to make time to be there every week. But it's just a lot of fun. Just it helps you get some reading done. It's definitely helped me get an extra hour of reading in. And I just love discussing with these girls. They're just so much fun. They're all super nice. I would love it if you guys would check it out. I will link Jacqueline's channel as well as our previous live shows below. But we will be here on YouTube streaming live every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're not doing anything, why not pick up a good book, grab a drink, whatever you want to do, and just join in on the fun. It's been so great. It's the highlight of my week. I just love it so much. So I'm really excited to be announcing that. Also, I'm going to be having a read-along happening next month, my very first read-along on BookTube. It's going to be for the book Bunny by Mona Awad. So if you have that book, or you could check it out from the library or something like that, join us in the read along. I'm like, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be happening in May. I'll give you more details as we get closer, but follow me on Instagram. That's a great way for you to get more information as far as what I'm doing with my booktube or read-alongs or things like that. My giveaway just ended over on Instagram, so I will be announcing the winner very soon. I will be doing it over there, probably in my stories or something like that. And I just need to wrap up a few more things before I announce the winner. That's going to be happening. I think that's about it. I always seem to forget to tell you guys things before I wrap up a video. I end up editing and I'm like, oh, I should have mentioned that. So yes, definitely check out Read with Friends, because that's just like, it's just so much fun. I'm just so grateful to Jackie for allowing me to participate, because I've just had so much fun doing it and I've just met some really great people. So anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please give a like, subscribe. Let me know if I'm doing okay over here. I'm just figuring it out as I go. I'm doing my best. Leave me a comment down below if you've read any of these books or what you would pick for the tag. I'm tagging anybody. I'm tagging everybody. I don't really know a whole lot of people over here. I'm still meeting people. So, anyone who watches this that wants to try the tag, go ahead, try it. It's a lot of fun. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.